Hello folks, good morning YouTubers. Here at the warehouse today. Wanted to do a little better video on this Fusion Hybrid we picked up on Thursday on November 2nd. I was 45 years old on November 2nd. Getting old. Yeah, well, this is part of the government fleet sale. I had a bunch of these, and I wish I'd have bought more than one. But you know, you kind of, when you're looking at something you've never owned before and you're buying it for the first time, it's kind of like, well, let me buy it and see what I think about it. And if I think they're good cars or they sell well, then we'll get more. Because they had about 15 of these, and they were all so nice. These guys really took care of these. These were, I mean, look at the condition of the seats. Lighting's not great, I'm sorry. I don't think anybody ever sat in that back seat. But these were they were listed on the auction as administrator cars. Check out these cool graphics, man. Oh, ready to drive. So you got your EV information to the left and how much battery you have. And then of course you've got your miles per gallon and how much fuel you have for the 2.5 four-cylinder engine. Temperature gauge over there. Your mileage. The car has 102,027. So, you know, just a little over 100,000. And then the little green leaves, as you drive, they depending on how economically you're driving, they grow. So that's kind of cool. All right, so we're in EV mode. Oh. Now we're not in EV mode. My garage door is very small. Good Lord. Okay. All right. Let me close this garage door before we leave. My garage door opener is in my other car. Yeah, one other thing I like about government cars, man, they keep tires on their cars. You know, you ever look at the police cars that are out there for sale? It doesn't matter if they got 200,000 miles on them and they're worn slap out. They either got a new set of Goodyears on them, or in this case, we got Firestones. They always keep good tires on the car. Okay, so we're back in EV mode. The engine ran for just a moment. I guess to kind of get us jump started here, the air conditioner is on in this car, but we'll do a little drive. Doing a little research on these cars. Apparently, when this car came out in 2010, it was like, I didn't realize it had received such rave reviews from the auto enthusiasts, like Car and Driver and Consumer Reports. Even, you know, those guys, they're tough. But yeah, they all loved this car. Basically, from what I understand, and you know, anybody feel free to jump in there and correct me if I'm wrong, but the technology, the hybrid technology in this car is exactly the same as the Camry, okay? Hybrid of the time. And Ford either, I can't remember if they either purchased that from Toyota, worked out some sort of agreement or deal, and then Ford, kind of worked their way off that platform and created this car and did it better than Toyota. which is kind of unusual. But yeah, if you YouTube videos or Google information, you'll see how people just kind of rave about this car, about how it's more of a driver's car in comparison to the Camry hybrid of this day. I can certainly say, from the little bit of time I've spent in it, this car is super well screwed together. I mean, this car is tight, nimble. I mean, it's 6 years old now. It has a little over 100,000 miles. Now, I mean, it's been maintained on the Fed's checkbook, you know, our taxes. But you know what? Some of these cars that I see at the auction that are government cars, not all of them are taken care of. So don't get fooled by that assumption. You still need to look over these cars. And you know, I've gotten to know some of the drivers that drive the cars through the auction. You know, it's just 5 or 6 guys, and they just rotate out. And I'll be talking to them, and you know, since I'm a nice guy, I engage them in conversation, and I'll just you know, say, hey man, what do you think about this one? Does this one feel good, or does this one feel bad? And he'll either shake his head no, or he'll shake his head yes. And they're usually not pulling my leg, especially one guy in particular. He's always quick to tell me. He'll say, you know, Mr. Joe, no, not this one. He's like, not this one. And actually, one of these hybrids came through. It was clean like this one, but it had a little body damage all around. I mean, a lot, like somebody was very careless with parking, and I mean, the trunk lid was dented in somehow, like they had backed into something, and it had all 4 corners had deep scuffs and gouges on it. But the car only had, it was an 11, just like this one. It only had 60,000 miles, sitting right on 60,000 miles. And he looked at, I said, what do you think? He shook his head and saying, no, not this one. And then he pointed down to the corner of the dash, which I couldn't see, and there was a check engine light on as well. So, you know, just because it's a low mile unit doesn't always mean it's the best one. You know, doesn't mean it's the best unit. I looked at a lot of them on the parking lot, and I got to drive them. The auction we go to here in Tennessee, we can drive the cars, and there's like a little quarter-mile drag strip one way up and back, so you can really get the car up to speed and get it to shift through all its gears. And I drove a couple, and I drove this one, and this one felt really, really good. So I bid on the one that had the highest miles there, and of course it sold for the cheapest. But this car has been super well maintained. The oil is just nice and clear. It's just been changed. Like I said, it's got new Firestones on it, and you know, these things are not slowpokes. The combined horsepower on these cars is right at 200 horsepower with the electric motor and the gas engine. I think it's 197 to be exact. So they have plenty of get up and go. There's no lack of acceleration or power. So these things are very, very quick. The hybrid models, you know, you can get sunroof, leather, navigation. You can do a lot of options like that. But just these base hybrids like this, they still come with the rear parking sensors that you heard beeping when I was backing out of my garage. They still come with the heated mirrors with the blind spot mirror in there. You have dual power seats. Both sides are power. And you have a really good sound system and Microsoft Sync. So, you know, it's not a stripped down unit. You got cruise and Bluetooth. You know, so they're really well equipped. You get 2 key fobs with all the remote, you know, trunk, release, lock, unlock, and the keys built in there. That's nice. I like it when it's all one key fob and not two fobs. But yeah, this thing just goes down the interstate really, really well. The life, mile per gallon life on this car has been 32.7. So I don't think that's too bad. I mean, you know, I'm sure it's a combination of highway and probably a good bit of city driving, but you know, that's not too bad. But anyway, yeah, this is a slick little car, and I need to sit down with it. I've got the books and manuals, and I need to sit down with it and figure out how to set up the Microsoft Sync. I've never had any experience with that in a Ford product before, so I need to figure out how that works exactly. But yeah, as you can tell, you know, the cup holders, they glow different colors: yellow, green. The interior has different shades of lighting you can do, so that's kind of cool. You get home link buttons, got a nice sunglass holder up there. But yeah, these cars just really handle and feel just solid as a rock, man. I could see how a Toyota Camry would ride probably pretty pillowy and soft. This has a more taunt suspension and just a, you know, a firmer feel, but it feels good. Don't get me wrong there, it feels really good. So anyway, so we've come to a stop at the red light. The gas engine cuts off and we go back to EV mode. Turn this climate control off. Roll the window down. Okay, so I'm rolling away from this red light. I am electric power only, so that's kind of cool. Now as I go up this entrance ramp onto the interstate, back onto the interstate, it's sort of an uphill ramp. I'll give it the juice and we'll see kind of what this thing will do. As far as get up and go, it seems to be very, very peppy. She'll get up and roll, man. Alright, lights green, we're rolling. Whoa, but we did not get an arrow. That would have been cute if I'd rear-ended this Tahoe in front of us. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, I can go. Okay, gas engine just kicked on. Tahoe's gonna go slow. I'm gonna go slower. Nobody's behind me. Okay, here we go. To the floor. Alright, so that's not bad. That was uphill. I had to let off there at the end. I wanted to try to get to 60, but I kind of had to let her go. So this automatic transmission is a CVT. I think all hybrids pretty much come with a CVT these days. Automatic windows. Ooh, that was loud. Yeah, so we roll 75. This thing is quiet as a church mouse. Okay. This is probably the fastest I've had it. Very smooth, I must say. Very, very smooth. Well, guys, that's about it. I'm sure this video's turned into a year. But I wanted to do, I put up a little short, excited, hyped up video last week right after I got the car, and I looked at it and it was pretty terrible. So hopefully this one will be just awful and not just terrible. Maybe it'll just be awful to fair. So anyway, y'all have a good day. this car is going to be for sale. I just want to give it a bath, and I don't know, we've only owned it a couple of days. I don't like to, I know they say buy a car and turn around and sell as fast as you can, but I like to keep it, you know, at least a week, drive it, see what it's like, put some miles on it, make sure, you know, make sure it's not going to blow up. But I don't think there's anything wrong with this car. This is a good one, but it's going to be for sale soon. I'm going to look to get $59.95 for it. You know, might have a little wiggle room in there. No stupid offers though, because I mean, if you look at what they're selling for out there, that's under the good old book. But anyway, y'all have a great Sunday. Peace out.